Alrighty, so I guess now you guys, I gave you all a little background information and notes about your characters and more or less how and why you got to the point you're at. And as we start, you find yourselves walking up the road to the city of Vanguard. Vanguard is a walled city that sits on top of a plateau that's approximately probably 60 to 100 feet high. Juts out of the forest around it, and there's a road that comes down off the plateau and into the forest. You've heard through common talk that the city welcomes pretty much anybody of any race or whoever you are. They don't really care as long as you have coin to spend. You're welcome. Let's introduce your characters. Now remember to describe only what people would see about your characters. Don't tell us like your whole life story or what everything is about you, because we wouldn't know that. Let's see. Let's start with Rylar.
Yes, that's my character.
Okay, so tell us what we see when we see Rylar.
Very plain-looking drow. He has standard white hair, red eyes, and a common-looking sorcerer's robe. Well, apart from the robe, the only thing in his hand is a green orb. That's my arcane focus.
Okay. All right. Our Trin Starwatcher.
I'm.
Okay.
You see a thin, muscular elf with a slight pale blue tint to his skin, and a tattoo of a tree turning into a dragon on his chest. He's wearing sailor's gear and has a small knife strapped to his waist. Other than that, he appears to be unarmed.
And Zathras.
Okay. Zathras is fair, I guess, about average height for kind of appears to be a half drow. He has dark gray skin, but black hair. He has a cloak with a hood, so you can't see a whole lot of his head, but just got a rapier. Probably have his bagpipes are probably visible somewhere. Other than that, typical traveling clothing. Kind of quiet. Often looking around like he's expecting someone to come at him or something. Not terribly trustful.
Alright, so as you guys make your way up the road, there's other people also entering the city and leaving. It's a fairly busy place. Most of the people that are leaving look like just commoners or like farmers and whatever. Some of them may have bags or carts that they're wheeling along, or instruments, tools, or whatever. Some of those going in are also farmer type common worker people. There are farms all around the area at the base of the plateau. And as you approach the city, you have to wait in line to enter the city. At the gate, there are two really large ogres guarding the gate. One of them seems to be talking to each person as they go in. The other one just sort of standing guard, looking over everybody. And as you get closer to the gate, you can hear that the ogre is asking each person that goes in for the toll to enter the city. And the toll is one gold piece per person to enter the city.
Oh, thank goodness.
You guys do have gold on your sheet. I gave each person a little starting gold.
Yeah, okay.
So you're
now.
not broke. All right. So who's gonna go in or?
Oh, let's all get it started.
Each person single file. All right. Each person. If you want, you can just mark the gold off your sheet. Don will get to you at some point because you can't get on your sheet yet. 1 gold. Yep. Each to get in the city. And they let you pass. They don't really ask you any questions or anything. As long as you give them the gold, they're happy, and in you go. Uh,
Okay.
just inside the gates, there's a main road. It's about 30 feet wide. It's dirt and gravel, and there's people moving about. All right. Just off to your left is a large building, which is the Red Flagon Tavern. Off to your right, there appears to be a large stable, and down the street further in front of you, you can see off to the left is what looks like a weapon shop, and off to the right is a big inn on the corner of the street, which goes around the inn, turns off to the right, and keeps on going. And there are smaller streets and alleyways coming off the right and the left in both directions, and lots of people moving about, milling about, and it's probably later afternoon, early evening. It's probably a couple of hours till dusk. So it's going to be dinner time fairly soon. So you're in the city. What do you guys want to do? Where do you want to go?
Go to the inn.
All
Yeah,
right.
me too.
Yeah, sounds like an idea.
Alrighty. The inn is down on your right, next to the stables.
I have no need for
Oh, there we go. I
stables.
see the map.
Okay. So you're coming in. There's a doorway that you can see on the left-hand side. You'll be coming in, making a right into that doorway. And there's a human sitting there at that table as you walk in. There's just
Oh,
doors on
that
either side of
gentleman.
the hallways. Yep.
Is this the entrance to the inn?
Yes. Now this is the inn where you would get bedrooms and stuff. If you want to go to the tavern where you get food and drink, that's the building across the street.
I probably want a room first.
Okay. So there's a
For they're all
innkeeper.
gone.
Yep. There's there's innkeeper sitting there at the table, and there's just doors on either side of all the hallways. And he watches you come in. So yep. Hi there. What can I do for you?
How much for a room for the night?
Well, let's see. You're gonna be wanting. Well, all the rooms have 2 beds. You guys want to bunk up together, or are you gonna be single rooms?
A room.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Well, it's 2 silver per room per night.
Shall we bunk?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't we split that?
I'd rather have a room to myself. I don't know anybody here.
Okay. So you're paying for the room, Ken? For you guys?
Well, I'll split it with him.
Okay.
Good.
So you're each paying it. Alright. Ken and Don, he gives you guys this room here, which I have revealed. That's your room there. I don't have numbers on the rooms because I forgot to do that, so whatever, that's your room there.
Okay.
Right here on the corner is your room, Chris.
Oh my.
I should probably start talking to you guys like your character.
Actually, I feel that should be Ken and Don's room. It looks much bigger than what I need.
It looks bigger, but actually the rooms are all exactly the same size.
Like,
It just looks bigger because
It's
of the way
just
the
laid
beds
out
are arranged.
differently.
Yeah.
very well then.
Alright, so each room has 2 beds and 2 little foot lockers at the foot of the beds to put your stuff in.
Does the door to the room lock?
Yes, the door will lock.
Okay.
None of
I
your
can
none of your
stuff
rooms
my
have
arc-
windows.
Oh no, I don't want to stuff my focus in the chest.
None of your rooms have windows. So just you've got a little. It's not a torch.
Yeah.
It looks like a torch on the map, but obviously that wouldn't be fire safe. So it's a little lantern thingy hanging on the wall by the door to light the room.
Yeah. Having secured the room, ask the innkeeper. You can recommend somewhere for a dinner.
That'd be at the tavern across the street.
Okay, that is his recommendation. There isn't
Yeah, the
another.
Red Flag. That's
Nothing better.
that's the only tavern in town, really.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Nobody
Never
really
mind.
nobody can really compete with them.
They're
If you
that
take-
good, huh?
If you take my meaning.
All right.
Okay, so they paid somebody off.
I'm gonna go to the tavern.
Alrighty. You can just leave your tokens here, because every map I pull up, you get different tokens anyway. So just leave them for later. And
All right.
All right. So we'll go over.
That works.
Let me move this over here.
Probably starving. I may as well go to the tavern too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's grub
Oh,
time.
this is familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've seen this.
Wow. Okay. Look at all these people.
Yep, this is a tavern. Yeah, it's almost like I said, it's about dinner time. People are coming in after work and getting food and drinks. And they're all chattering and eating and drinking. Got a couple of windows onto the street there and the main door. Got a bar along one side, and you got some tables and chairs.
I guess in character, I introduce myself to you since we're sharing a room. And you want to share a table too?
Yeah, my name is Tren. Glad to share. I'm new to the city, so
We should stick together here. Too many people.
Yeah. You see the Goliath there standing by the door. He's keeping an eye on everything in the room going on.
He's not challenging or anything as we walk in, though.
He's just standing there keeping an eye on things. So there's an empty table.
Is there anyone serving, or do we have to go to the bar for that?
Well, at the moment you don't see anyone, but you see people have plates and stuff, so there must be somebody serving. She might be in the back or whatever. There's a bartender, a half-orc bartending the bar.
Okay.
And as you speak, you
looks
see
like
this.
I can't sit by myself. All the other tables are taken.
Yep. So this elven lady comes out. She goes over to this table and puts down some food for these guys. Notices the newcomers. Comes over to your table. What can I get you, gentlemen?
What do you recommend?
Whatever you like. Wine, ale, food, whatever. We got a stew tonight.
I'll have some stew, and let's have some ale.
Alrighty. What about you?
I'll have a stew and some wine.
Alrighty. 2 stews, wine and ale coming up. She goes up to the bar, tells the orc wine and ale, and goes into the kitchen.
Motion to Rylard. You want to join us?
Why not? Why tonight? It'll be... Whatever.
The elf comes out of the kitchen, grabs the drinks from the bartender, brings over your ale and your wine. She's a newcomer. What can I get you?
What kind of stew do you have?
Beef.
Very well, then I'll have some of that.
You been wanting a drink?
Just water, please. I'm parched.
Alrighty then. Goes back in the kitchen.
Trying to figure out what I would have eaten back home. Probably a mushroom stew.
Yeah, yeah. Where you from? There's lots of fungus eating going on there. A lot of mushrooms.
Probably.
When you had meat, it was usually pretty exotic stuff.
Oh yeah, actually.
Yeah, spider leg.
It would probably end up in the
Yeah, this beef is pretty exotic for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, this is probably your first. This will probably be your first taste of beef.
I thought you said beef.
Oh,
That's even better.
Yeah. Well, you probably haven't had beef yet, so this will be your first taste of it.
yeah, they don't live very well underground.
On the contrary, I think they live pretty well.
No, cows, I mean.
Oh, right, cows.
Alright, lady comes back out of the kitchen, lays three bowls of stew and spoons, and a cup of water for you. And that be anything else?
Not for
Thank
me.
you, I'm good.
Alrighty, that's gonna be let's see, 1, 2, 3 silver pieces for the meals.
Toss one up.
Yeah.
Because everything's so cheap down here. Over here.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be saying that too loud.
No.
Oh, that was out of character.
Oh, okay.
I just don't want my starting money to disappear too quickly.
Somebody waves at her from another table, so she goes over to see what they want.
So Zathras motions at Rylar. I'm Zathras. This is Trin. Who are you?
Rylar of House Tassaran.
Oh. You have come a long way.
A very long way. And I've rubbed my sore feet.
I have traveled for more than a week.
Okay, that is much longer than me.
Well, actually, you've been traveling for
What
quite a
brings you
while.
all to the city?
In search of knowledge. Zathras wants to know certain things about his past.
My old home is actually pretty close to here. I can't have imagined it took me more than a day to get to Vanguard.
No, it took you a long time. Your home is up in the mountains, actually. It probably it took you probably 3 weeks, maybe more to get here.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say if it
it's that
took me
long.
9,
Yeah,
if it took me 9 days,
yeah,
he's from the mountains. That's a lot farther.
yeah.
That map you showed us at the beginning didn't really give me a good sense of scale here.
Yeah, I know. I forgot to put a scale on the map, but yeah, it's quite a ways. It's 9 days between Lakeshire and Vanguard, so that should give you some idea.
Okay, so now my dogs are really barking.
Yeah.
And actually, I probably, I'm not sure I made any stops on my way to Vanguard if it took me 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, you
I
you
probably
probably
just-
didn't. No, you came right through the wilderness.
Yeah, and I walked up from the ocean, so
So I'm the
I
local
don't
then.
know.
Yeah, you're more local than the other two. They've been traveling quite a while.
You are.
Einar's been traveling the farthest distance, but he's not here yet, so.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
And maybe he can catch up to us a day late.
Yeah, hopefully not $1 short. Sorry. Just things like that pop into my head. I don't know why.
Just remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Play with one every chance you get.
Yep. Mine's a terrible thing to waste. Yeah. Yeah, I watched too much TV growing up. Okay. Feeling like after I finish my meal, I'm in the mood for sleep.
I'm probably the one that ate the fastest. I take one bite out of this delicious exotic delicacy and then I wolf the rest of it down.
Which makes me look at you kind of strange.
Waitress comes back, says, "You wanting anything else?"
Give me another ale.
Another stew, please. That was great.
Alrighty. She takes the empty bowls and heads back in the kitchen. Ale, and goes back in the kitchen. Ale, and pours out an ale.
That's another 3 silver, isn't it?
Yep. Well, no, three is three. It's 1 silver per meal, so another silver for you.
Oh,
Okay.
It was three for the.
Okay.
It was 3 for the group of you. She comes out after a minute, hands you another bowl of stew there. Goes back, grabs the ale, brings that up. Anything else for you, gentlemen?
Not for me.
Alrighty then.
Nor I.
that's fine, thank you.
These guys finish up. They decide to leave.
I see the other table just got up and left.
Yeah. So are you both here in Vanguard to stay, or are you traveling on?
Oh, I'm looking for some training and some men.
May very
Training.
well stay here. I don't have a home to go back to.
Well, what happened to your home?
Exiled.
Yes, yes. Sometimes that happens. Athos has known others in your situation.
And mine was taken by pirates.
Oh,
Our society is hell, especially for men, and we just got a new queen.
ugh. I have heard tales. I have heard tales of your type. Yes, it does not sound like a pleasant existence.
Nope.
Not
In the
for a male,
Underdark,
anyway.
girls rule.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Anything interesting among the other patrons?
Well, this lady overhears what you said, and she says, "And yes, they do." And the rest of everybody at her table laughs.
Right, that's to my girls rule comment.
Yeah, yeah, she looks like she's pretty soused.
Let's see. A song about Dro.
This guy over here in
Right,
this
how-
corner chair is kind of watching you guys too.
Which one?
Is
This
Is he an
orc-looking
orc
dude
or
over here.
something?
Yeah, I think he's an orc.
The half orc? Yeah,
Yeah,
the
something like that.
picture
Yeah.
looks like an orc.
Yeah.
that one looks more like an orc. I have no idea what this guy is.
He's an it.
Yeah, well, that happens in these cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of the people at this square table are glaring at the people over at that other table, and they're not looking too
Oh.
friendly at each other.
Let's sit over here.
Oh wait, oh dang it! You took my seat. I was about to move over to that one myself.
I was just feeling a little vulnerable sitting in between those two groups.
Yeah, well, I'm also next to all these guys.
I'm gonna sing a song about how it sucks to be a male in the Underdark. See if anyone joins
I don't
in.
need any more reminders of that.
See if anyone joins in.
I wouldn't be surprised if that song instigated a bar fight.
The two dwarves at the bar are looking over at that one. What the heck? The Goliath at the door just sort of glares at everybody. Sort of a
As long
warning
as he
look.
behaves himself. I guess he behaves himself as long as we do, right?
The orc behind the bar there just kind of rolls his eyes and pours out some ale for the dwarves.
Right now, I don't need any more trouble than I've already been through, so I'm not gonna be a troublemaker.
What's with the...
I don't know.
He's
I
gonna
don't know.
squeeze into between you two for cover.
What's with the
Excellent.
loner off in the corner there?
Yeah, he was over at the bar, and when those people left, he moved over there. He's kind of drinking to himself there. He's been eyeing you three every now and again. Aside from these orcs, you two are probably the weirdest looking ones in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, a drow,
I
a
don't know.
tiefling, and a high elf all sitting around the table.
Well, as far as anybody can tell, the tiefling is also a half drow or something, because he's got his hood up.
Yeah. So two drow and a high
Yeah,
elf.
my horns are not visible.
Yeah, there's an odd combo right there, a high elf and two drow. I mean, you don't see that very often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, a drow with black hair, you don't see that.
I don't even know why I'm talking to the high elf. I must be so desperate for company, I'm out of
You're-
my mind.
You're really tired.
Yeah,
You're just
Yeah, I'm
really
really
tired.
that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been
Finish
stuck
my-
among humans. It's nice to see somebody with pointy ears.
Tell the round ears where they can go. Okay. That was not in character, by the way. Sorry.
Okay.
That was just me spouting.
Mhm.
Zathras is gonna finish his ale and head back to the inn, I think.
Alrighty.
Unless something interesting happens.
Oh, I finished my
Or
second
someone
beef
stops him.
stew the moment I got it, so I'm just sitting around talking.
Hey, you freaks want to get out of my way?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Very sorry. Very sorry. Zathras. Yes. Apologies.
He's glaring straight at Rylar.
Apologies
Oh.
for this loud? Come now.
Yeah, keep moving. Okay. God, there's anybody in this place.
Oh, thank goodness.
He takes off.
Yeah, I'll wait a couple minutes, just to make sure I'm not walking out just as he's. They say discretion is the better part of valor.
Yeah. Can I get you gents anything else? Are you all done?
Zathras is fine.
I'm all done.
Yeah, I think it's time to leave.
Natty then. Off she goes to clean off this table over here.
Okay. Head out.
Head back to the inn. Pull the inn. Where's the inn? Alright, by this time it's more or less dusk, sundown. The streets are emptying out, people are going home. You really didn't see much of the streets, so what you did see was just less people wandering around.
Yeah, I will stop in the common area in the inn and meditate for a moment.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight
Okay.
to sleep.
Stand over here, I guess. Off to the side.
Yeah, me too. This is probably the best bed I've had in weeks.
Yeah, probably it is. You've been sleeping on the ground for the most part.
The only bed you've had in weeks.
Yeah. Alright, Trin, you said you're meditating out in the common area?
Yes.
Okay.
And then if nothing interesting happens and after a few minutes of meditation, I will go to sleep.
They're on the floor? Or...
Why not?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm used to a ship's bunk, so.
Okay. So they're meditating. A person
But no, I
comes
will.
in. Alright. A dwarf comes in while you're sitting there and gets a room from the innkeeper. He gives him a key and he heads off to one of the other rooms.
That was one of the guys from the bar.
And the innkeeper looks at you and says, "Hey, you gonna just sleep there on the floor? You got a room."
Oh yes.
I'm saying a homeless shelter here.
Oh, I was merely meditating.
Yeah, okay. You can do that in your room too.
Very well. So I go to my room and.
It looks like Zathras took the left bed, so he's leaving you the bed on the right side of the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't too particular. Other than it feels strange because the bed's not swaying.
You pirates are all alike.
Alrighty, so you guys go off to sleep or trance or whatever you guys do there at night. It's dark, it's fairly quiet.
Get a full rest.
It's fairly quiet, there's not a lot of noise going on. And you drift off to sleep. And at some point in the middle of the night, you're awakened. And at first you don't know what it is that awakened you. And then the room starts to shake, tremble, like there's
Shake?
I have
yep,
just
like
a few
almost
hours
like
peace and quiet.
Almost like an earthquake. The room is shaking, and
Huh.
there's
It
trembling,
finally sleep.
and you
Huh.
hear like a rumbling, roaring sound from outside.
Zathras looks around. Trin, you know what that is?
I'm
Zathras
about to
does not
find
know.
out.
And you leave the room.
Yep, I'm gonna jump to my feet and head out the door.
All right, out the
And
door.
Zathras will follow.
All right, you head out the
I'm
door.
probably gonna leave, but not
You-
as quickly. You
You
seem very
see,
tired.
the innkeeper is still out there at the table, and he is sound asleep with his face down on the table.
Okay, that is an anomaly.
Or he's really, really drunk.
And the whole building feels like it's shaking and rumbling, and there's this big rumbling roar outside. But he's sleeping soundly, snoring away.
I am gonna go on out and see what it is.
You do that. I'm gonna try and get some answers out of the innkeeper.
All right,
Okay.
I want to
All
shake
right.
him awake.
all right. You shake that guy, and he just keeps on sleeping. He does not wake up.
Goodness sakes, what is the matter with him? Maybe, can I do like an Arcana roll to see if he's enchanted to sleep through this or
So that was-
something?
Okay, go ahead. Do
That's
you
what I
know
was
how to do
thinking
that
is-
now?
Oh, okay.
There we go. You got a 13.
Well, then I'm probably not going to get very
Okay,
far
so-
with the.
Well, in this
Arcana
case,
roll.
you examine this guy, and obviously the sleep he is in is not a natural sleep. But
Hmm.
what
I
may be
suspected as
causing it,
much.
you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Are you
Alright,
two,
well,
you gonna go out on the street with these guys? They went out the north door.
I guess I could go out to them. I was hoping to drag the innkeeper out with me. I'm probably not strong enough for that, though.
Yeah.
What do we see outside?
All right. Well, outside you see that most of the street is now barren of people because it's like in the middle of the night. The few people you do see on the street, which is mostly be like beggars and street urchins and whatever, they are all soundly asleep. Overhead,
Just like the innkeeper.
yep.
Oh boy.
Overhead, there is this blinding light, and it's lighting up the whole area, the whole street. And you see this like blazing bright ball of fire and smoke flying overhead over the city, headed north.
And I am blinded for. How long exactly?
Probably.
I've got sunlight sensitivity. You're describing what you.
Yes, it's
what
very
you say.
bright.
This light hurts my eyes even worse.
Yep. And this thing goes roaring and through the sky, headed north until it's out of view behind the trees and whatnot. And for a good long while, the ground is rumbling and shaking afterwards, and then it finally settles down. And at that point, it's very dark and it's very quiet.
This isn't the big prophecy, is it?
Anybody want to do a check and find out?
Yeah.
This would be a
Let me
religion
see.
check, probably. Or, yeah, it would be a religion check.
I got a 10.
All right. Well, you know something. There's something vaguely about some kind of fireball or something that somebody might be going to see at some point, but that's about all you know about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember stuff that. What? 15 years ago?
Oh, you're not supposed to remember that stuff. Anybody else want to try their hand at it to see if they might know some lore about this?
Well, I am a student of everything. I might have heard about this prophecy.
Okay. Let's see.
Religion, right?
Yeah.
I'm not proficient in it, but I'll give it my best.
Okay, you got a 19.
That's better.
Yeah. Well, you know what this is.
Yeah.
You have heard, even though you really don't know much about the surface, you've probably heard the slaves in the mines and whoever talking about this stuff over the years. And you would have heard that pretty much all these different religions, they all have more or less the same kind of prophecy that says something about a big ball of fire that's supposed to fall to ground somewhere in the world, and from this fireball is supposed to emerge demons, that are gonna
Yeah.
bring this evil force called tech with them, that will destroy magic and destroy the world as you know it.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so I relay this to Zathras and Trin, although I'm talking to a random guy on the street because I'm still blind.
Oh, not good. Zathras does not like this.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help but be funny sometimes.
No, that's awesome.
So there's the three
If
of
you're not
you on the
laughing, you're not
street.
playing right.
Two of you standing there in the street looking around, and all you see is on this side of the street. This is the main street that comes around the building and heads on down towards the east. And on this part of the street, there are on occasion there are like little stalls set up where people will sell their wares during the day. They're all empty now, but there are still some stalls and carts and things lined up along the streets. But yeah, the only people you see are like the beggars and the homeless people, and they're all sound asleep in the alleyways and along the streets, wherever they lay.
So there's no movement that we can see
No, you
other
don't
than that
see.
fireball.
Nope, no movement. You don't hear anything. It's eerily quiet.
That prophecy I know about, that doesn't offer any explanation for the sleep.
No, you've never heard any mention of this unnatural sleep.
Really weird.
It is. Is the tavern still open?
Probably. I left the door unlocked.
you can't you can't
Oh.
see the tavern from the side of the building that you're on. But as you look
Oh.
around up and down
Oh,
the street,
sorry,
you
the
do see
tavern, not the inn.
yeah. As you look up and down along the street, you do see a hint of movement way down at the end of the street to your right, way down at the other end of the street, where there is
So east?
yeah, east. There is it looks like there's another larger street that comes off to the right down there, and there's somebody coming out of that street onto the main street and looking all around.
Watch them carefully.
Okay.
Do they look like they're looking for something specific or just looking around?
Well, as you watch, they're looking around, and then they spot you guys standing around outside the inn, and they starts heading your direction.
Uh-oh.
As he gets closer, it looks like a young man, a young human, maybe in his 20s, and he's wearing robes, and he's coming hurrying down the street towards you guys.
I don't know whether
Okay.
to stay or run back in the inn.
Do an insight check for sensing his motives. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe I
Oh,
should
that's
do
a
that
yeah.
too
You
before
have
I
no
run
clue.
back in.
I have no idea. No idea whatsoever.
Yeah, I also roll insight.
Ready?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm not doing too good either.
Oh. Okay, so I probably...
Okay. Near as you can tell, this guy coming at you might be a priest. He doesn't have any weapons on him that you can see, and he's just wearing robes.
Okay, so I just
is his
stand
head
at the door
covered?
holding the handle.
So as he comes closer, he starts waving at you guys, and he says, "Hey, did you guys see the fireball?"
Too much of it.
Yes, we saw it.
I'm gonna put him on the map here.
I see we did.
Does he look human?
Yes, he looks like a young man, young human, but in his 20s. Brown
Huh.
hair.
And he's not asleep like everyone else.
No, he's not asleep. And he looks at you guys with sort of a curious expression, like he didn't expect people he saw to be looking like you guys.
Yeah.
And then he looks around the street around you and sees only sleeping urchins and says, "Are you the only people awake?"
I think so.
We're the only people that we know of that are awake.
Now this
For
is
you, what's up with that?
That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes. Why? Do you know about the sleep?
Well, not exactly. My name is Jason, and I'm a priest of Istara. We have a temple down the street, and I woke up because of all the shaking and noise and light and the fireball. And it's the sign. The sign has been given. Do you know anything about the sign?
Very little.
No.
All right. Well, it's said that the only people that will witness the sign are those chosen by the gods. Um, are you any of you close to a god? Religious
Not
people?
Zathras,
Ah,
no.
He,
Not that I know of.
Well, this is very interesting.
although I almost got him with Draftnor once.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, you don't want to mess with him. You don't want anything to do with that god, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well, I find it very interesting that you three were chosen then. You were chosen by some god or another because only those chosen by the gods will see the sign. And that's probably why everybody else is asleep, I guess. They weren't chosen. As a priest of Istara, I will probably be tasked with going to find the sign. Um, since you were chosen, then maybe you were chosen to go with me.
Tell us more about this sign.
All right.
What do you know?
Well, as a priest of Istara, we are taught that, like I said, that this sign will be given, and only those chosen will see it, and those who are chosen are supposed to seek it, and seek out the landing place where it will fall on the ground, and there we're supposed to go and stop these demons from destroying the world. So if you were chosen and saw the sign, then perhaps you're supposed to go with me to help destroy these demons so they don't end the world.
Zathras thinks for a moment, and he says, "What happens if we don't do this?"
Well, I don't know. The gods may not be happy.
well, it sounds to me like the world will end.
Possibly.
Well,
Was it the end of the world, or the end of the world as we know it?
Well, I guess it depends on which
I feel
religion you
fine.
follow, but they all pretty much generally agree that bad things will happen if these demons are let loose upon the world.
Not a very good position for Zathras to be in.
Does Zathras have any of his musical instruments with him?
On his person right now, no.
Okay.
Well, no.
Okay.
In fact, he's... Well, I'm not going to be foolish. Yeah, no, not on it.
Okay.
I probably locked up my arcane focus in the footstool until I felt the rumbling, and then I grabbed it and got out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jason says, I'm going to look around the rest of the town, see if anyone else is awake. And if not, or even if so, either way, you guys have seen it. So you were chosen by somebody. So I would say in the morning, come to the Temple of Istara, and we'll meet there and see who else shows up, whoever saw the sign, and we'll go from there.
We should rest.
Yes, please.
If we can,
Yes.
before we do anything like this.
Yes, rest up, get a good night's sleep for the rest of whatever's left of the night, and come to the temple in the morning, and we'll figure out what's going on from there.
all right, sounds good to me.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
And he heads off.
About how old would I guess Jason to be?
Probably early 20s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They're about 20, early 20s, something like that.
So first, maybe second level.
Young guy.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. If I don't come back by the time you set out, just take me to the temple with you.
Okay.
That exotic food.
Mhm.